Oh, thank you for this opportunity. I appreciate you. And that was a very warm welcoming. Thank you very much. My name is Eliyahu. You're watching HaRuachEliyahu'sChannel at YouTube.com, and also Eagles Haven Ministry in California, United States. I'm coming to you tonight, and thank you for this opportunity to be here to express some things that need to be shared. The title of this message is love, in the Hebrew sense, matan, or the Hebraic understanding of rakam, the love of the Creator, and agape in Hebrew and Greek. The verse is the goddess of charity. I want you to come to an understanding with me and get a revelation and cast down all imaginations of every high thing that exalts itself against the knowledge of Elohim. Not the G-O-D, Elohim. And we want to bring these things down and cast down these imaginations right here, starting first. These principalities and powers of knowledge, of preconceived information from the present religious system, and also the Reformationists, and then the Roman Catholicism and the Greek Orthodox, and those periods of time that brought all kinds of paganism and dirt and contamination. It started one day that I already knew with the word that charity was a pagan deity, a goddess related to the Trinity of the goddesses of grace. It has a charismatic form as well, 5486. But also, it has nothing to do with the Greek word G26 or G25. But yet they plastered over and put this word on top of a clean, even Greek word. And if somebody has information more about the definition of agape and agapo, and if there's any relations there to any pagan deities with an image, please help me with it. Email me and fill in the lines here of questions in this research. Charities or charity is 28 times in the New Covenant. All the Greek word in Strong's Hebrew Greek Accord is 26, used as love. 84 times agape love, and it starts with agapo, but it starts with 1 Corinthians chapter 8 verse 1, and it ends in Revelations 2:19. Doesn't go further past Revelations 2:19, and it doesn't go before 1 Corinthians 8:1. So in the Tov News, or the glad tidings of the Vazora, Matthew, Marcos, Lucas, and Yochanan, John, they're not in there. In Acts, in Romans, they're not in there. This word, okay? They use the proper words of love, agape, or agapo, or other clean Greek words, and a lot of clean Greek words to prescribe the description of the differences. It's very terrible to take the word love and use it. I love my dog, I love my cat, I love my chocolate ice cream, I love my wife, I love my house. But that's one universal word with mixture and has no root meaning specifically. The love of your Creator should be a different word. The love of your wife should be a different word. The love of your children is a different word, even in Greek as well as in Hebrew. Latin too. We're going to start off by reading 1 Corinthians 13, because it sparked me one day when a woman thought that the word charity, love, charity, means giving. And I said, sister, it's agape and it means love. But charities or charismaticas is a word of giving, but it's for erotic favors, for the exchange of money to the temple prostitute priest. And she had no idea of this. She thought charity meant giving. Yeah, it does, when it's erotically to use for the temple prostitution. Alright? Or for spiritual gifts from the principalities and powers of those deities. They give out gifts too. Now, let's read 1 Corinthians chapter 13, or Corinthians Aleph chapter 13. And we're going to read this passage chapter, and I'm going to show you the different scriptures, the different Hebrew and Greek words. We're going to go through them patiently, have a good time, just study here tonight. And in chapter 13 it says, if I speak with tongues of men and of messengers, but do not have agape, love. They put the word, they plastered over agape, and they put the word charity or charities, the goddess, on there. And they got people saying this word. And it has nothing to do with agape. It's a plastered over word. It's even in the Greek. It's why use it? You know, this goddess word. But they're trying to get us conforming comfortably to these pagan deities of principalities and calling out to them. So it says, but do not have love, I have become as a sounding brass or a clinging cymbal. And if I have nabi or nabiyam and know all secrets, they use the word prophecy, I don't use it. And that's fourth teller. I use the word nabi or prophet or nabiyam. What is it? Let's see. Nabuah for prophecies. Nabuah. And E-B-U-A-H, which is speaking the oracles, the direct words of Elohim out. Present and future, not fourth teller. Okay? And I know all secrets of all knowledge, and if I all believe, so as to remove mountains, but do not have, and they use the word charities, which is supposed to be agape, love. I have none at all. And if I give all my possessions to feed the poor, and if I give my body to be burned, but do not have love, I am not profiting at all. The word love, agape, is patient. It's kind. Love does not envy. Love does not boast. Is not puffed up. Does not behave indecently. Does not seek its own. Is not provoked. Reckons not the evil, does not rejoice over the unrighteousness, but rejoices in truth. It covers all, believes all, expects all, endures all. Love never fails. And whether there be, if we use the word properly, nabioth, they say the word prophecies, they shall be inactive. Or tongues, they shall cease. Or knowledge, it shall be inactive for someday and in future it will. For we know in part, and we not be in part, or not be in part. But we that which is in perfect has come, then that which is in part shall be inactive. And the word perfect is the Greek word for maturity. Getting out of the bottle and maturing into meat. Maturing. Perfect's not a bad word. It says be perfect, for I'm perfect, says Yahuwah. He wants us to be mature like He's mature. But in today's society, they go around and say, nobody's perfect. We're all human. Human's not in the Scriptures. So this might be in some modern weird translation, but it's not there. Humanistic. Human is a word from humanistic or humanism, which is a religion of its own self. Okay? But he says here to be mature, perfect. For I am perfect. So which is perfect has come, then that which is in part shall be inactive. When I was a child, I spoke as a child, thought as a child, and reasoned as a child. But when I became a man, I did away with childish matters. And I say the same thing for the name. When we spoke Goo Goo Gaga, our parents heard our voice and came running to us. But if you're 30 years old and saying Goo Goo Gaga, your parents are going to ignore you because you can get up and wash your own dishes, cook your own food, wipe your own face. But there's many believers in Christianity, they go around saying Goo Goo Gaga, and they're saying Goo Goo Gaga and calling mommy, daddy. And that's not their name, that's old titles. And it can be insulting to a grown-up to do that to their parents. It's insulting when you know the Creator's real name. Some don't, but I'm telling you here today, you can know His name. Like it says in Proverbs 4:5, that if you know His name, and you know His Son's name, if you know it, say it. Or you know who stretched the heavens. And it says in verse 11, when I was a child, I spoke as a child. Look at verse 12. And now we see in a mirror dimly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, but then I shall know, as I also have been known. And now believe, expectation, and love remains, these three. But the greatest of these is love. Chapter 14, verse 1. Pursue love. They put this word Charities, charity, which is a pagan goddess. And people say they're praying for it. They pray, like I used to pray for certain things, and I used to pray the words, praying the scriptures, thinking they're pure. And I'm praying these pagan deities. I'm praying for these pagan deities that have an image and have a picture and have a demon spirit. They're principalities. They're not mythology, it's principalities. They're still building the pagan deity idols today. Libertarius is the biggest idol in the United States and the world. Justice, another Dyke, that's her name, Dyke, in the city halls, in the low court system. You got Justice. You got Gloria, another pagan goddess. They have idols. They're gold-plated, brass-plated. They're 20 feet tall. They're tons. They're gold-plated. They're millions of dollars. Nobody does that unless they believe it. Wastes money to build an idol. Just like the days of old, they're still doing today. Nothing has changed. These are secret society that worship the paganism of principalities and powers, and they receive a portion of power to receive their wealth for a season on this earth. And then their due reward for their sin is later. Pursue love, agape, not Charities, charity. And earnestly seek spiritual gifts, but rather that you nabi or nabuah or nabiim. Be a nabiim. So I read that chapter to let you know it's the word agape. Love starts, agape, in 1 Corinthians 8:1, as I said, and ends in Revelation 2:19 as a Charities. Agape is Greek word G-26, and they plastered and put the word Charities on it, a pagan goddess. Agape means affection, benevolence. It could be a love feast. I'm kind of questioning about the word when they use love feast, because they're only dealing with charities and the goddess of graces. They're dealing with sexual immorality in a temple. We want our love feast to be in worship in the presence of the congregation with Yahuwah, or personally by ourselves to have a love feast with Him. There's agapo, G-25, and it's to love in a social sense. It's 74 times in the New Covenant. And agapo in Matthew 5:49 is an example of friends, neighbors, city, etc. Loveth, that they put a word charity or charities, but loveth is G-25. Agapo is 20 times. 20 times. Loved, with a D in the end, is 38 times. And beloved, which I use a lot to people, but for friends and loved ones, it's 7 times used, and it's G-25. Agav in Hebrew is to breathe after, to love sensually. It's almost like agapo. It's almost spelled like it, but it's a B instead of a T. And that's Hebrew word 5689 in Strong's Hebrew Greek Concordance. In Ezekiel 23:5 and verse 7, these are not related to the gifts of the Greek word gift, agape. Lovers is 1 time mentioned in Jeremiah 4:30, and it means a dotted word, dotting, lust of the eyes, sexually, immorally. Okay? Charitable is G-26, again, dealing with agape. And they cover this word charities, charity, is 1 time in Romans 14:15, and is used as the word dear, G-26, in Colossians chapter 1, verse 13, as well as Ephesians 5:2 as loved. We're going to look at the Greek words before I go into the Hebrew of the good words. Why use, agape is okay, agapo is okay, and there's many other words, but they put pancake or plaster over and right on top charities, a pagan deity. And we're going to play with this just to have some fun, to have an understanding of it. And you can do your homework too and have some fun on it. I will not use that word charities, no more charity, because it's dealing with giving money to a temple priest and going into a temple prostitute house and having sex with Charity, a goddess. Okay? And I never use that word again. I use agape, I use love, agapo, or I can use these other words in Greek. And here's some other words. In G1390 is doma. Doma is three times used. It means a present and a gift. Doma. I use the word charity or charisma. They got doma. It's found in Ephesians 4:8, Philippians 4:17. How about G1435 in the Greek, and it's doran, and it's a sacrificial gift. It could be a gift of an offering, a love gift, a sacrificial gift to make friends, or for forgiveness, or just for friendship. And that's found in Matthew 5:23 and Lucas 21:4. Dure is a gratitude gift. It's a gift of gratitude. It's not charismatica or charity. They're clean. These are different words. This is the words they plastered and put the pagan word on top. And it's Ephesians 4:7 and Hebrews 6:4. And that's dure. D-O-R-E-A. Of course, we go back to the word charisma, or charismatica, or charisma, and that's 5486. And it's a special gratitude. Should be special gratitude, but it's dealing with a spiritual gift because of money in the temple prostitution. And the root word, of course, is 5483, and we were dealing with that the other time on dealing with the word graces, with the temple graces, same Greek word. And also a faculty of a free gift is found in Romans 1:11, Romans 5:15 and 16, and 1 Keepa 4:10. And that is dosis. Dosis. That's a giving gift. Also in James 1:17, 3 times used there. And giving in Philippians 4:15. How about Greek word 1435? Dorima. Dorima. A gift bestowment. That's one time used only in Romans 5:16. Why plaster and pancake and ride over with a pagan deity, Charities, charity, when there's other Greek words to prescribe specific meanings? In 1 Corinthians 12:4, verse 4, and verse 9 of the same chapter 12, okay, it's the Greek word 5486, 2 times used, and 5483 in giving, related to Charities. 5486. In its meaning, charisma, found also in the charismatic spirit. Now, here's some other words, and you heard it before, but they don't start with dorma or dorma or dorima, and other meanings of love or gifts. We're dealing with gifts. Love is agapo or agape. But let's look at another words here of love. I was looking at the word. I gave you the words with the D's pronunciation in the beginning for gifts that don't have to use charisma or charities, the goddesses. Okay, we can use the word agape or agapo, or these other words dorma, dora, duran, or dorie, or dosis, or dorima. But let's look at those are gifts to correct the word from charity. Let's look at the Greek words for love, besides agape and agapo. Greek word 5363, philanthropia, found in Titus chapter 3 verse 4. And it's, even in Greek, it's the description for Yahuwah, love towards mankind. And that's philanthropia, Titus 3:4. Or how about phileo? Phileo. 53:68. Found in Hebrews 13:1 for fleshly. Titus 3:15. John 21:17. 21:16 and 15. And also Yochanan and John 15:9. Those are all dealing with fleshly. Phileo. Phileo. The real word of 53:68 is 53:84, which is philios. Matthew 23:6. Or feed my sheep. And the Greek word G1006. How about Philadelphia? Brotherly love. Romans 12:10. The root word Philadelphios. 1 Peter 3:8. Or Philaorgia. Love of money. Philia Goria. Philia Rogia. I can't pronounce it well. Love of money. 1 Timothy 6:10. How about a love to a wife and a husband to a wife and a wife to a husband? Philandros. Titus 2:4. Philo iknos. Titus 2:4 also. Love for your children. So those are good clean words for love. These are the P-H-I-L-A, Phileo or Ethiopia, and then the gifts. You can see that the words gifts in the Greek are different than the charity gift of the pagan goddess of charisma or Charities. We don't need to say those pagan words. Even in the Greek understanding. If you're going to use Greek, you're going to use clean Greek words, you don't have to use the paganistic graft. It's not English. Charity is not English. It's a goddess. It's a pagan Greek goddess. If you put a K, you got a K for Latin, and then you got a K for Greek, and then a CH for Latin. Okay? Or is it the other way around? But we got clean words for love, but they choose to use paganistic words. In Hebrew, the word gift, 4991 in Hebrew, matati, a gift of reward. And they pancake this word charity. They have the nerve to do that in the scriptures. And it's a gift reward 8 times used. Examples found in Proverbs 25:14 and Melachim or 1 Kings 13:7, chapter 13, verse 7. Or a gift of a bribe, Leviticus 23:38, and that's the Hebrew number 4979, and it's the Hebrew word matana, also found in Proverbs 15:27, and that's a gift of a bribe. Or how about a clean gift, present gift, to give a reward to somebody who did a good deed, and that's matan. We don't use the word, we don't have to use those pagan words, Latin and Greek pagan words, charity or charisma or caritas. We don't have to use those pagan words. Okay? They're pagan deities. They're principalities and powers of darkness. And when you speak of, you speaking those pagan words out, and the spirits love the sounds of their names. Things come when you call their names. And then it says here, that's matan, present, a good gift, reward, found in Genesis 34:12 and Proverbs 19:6. It's a clean word, matan. Very easy to say, matan. Okay, it's a clean word. How about to have affection in love, like agape? It's ahab. Ahab. It's Hebrew 1:5-7, found in Exodus chapter 20, verse 6, as well as Deuteronomy 5:10, 7:9, verse 13, Psalms 18:1, Tehillim 18:1. So it's ahab. And then there's the Hebrew word 73:55, to love for Yahuwah with compassion. And it's rakham. I love that word rakham in Hebrew because I rakam Yahuwah. I rakam my Elohim of Israel. I rakam him. I don't agape. I don't love. Weak English-ish word. I rakam him. It is a Hebrew word of compassion and love only that goes to him. It's a word, excuse me, it's a word describing love in the highest sense to the Creator area only. You don't say it to a wife, a children, a nation, a people, or patriotism, or anything like that, or your ice cream or dog. You only say that word to the Creator, and that's what I love about Hebrew. The words are specifically aimed and only used specifically that way. You don't see a Ford Mustang and call it a Camaro. You don't see a Camaro and call it a Cadillac. And people look at you kind of, hey, dude, you don't know what you're saying. Rakam. To love the Creator with compassion in all your being. The love for a woman is ahaba. 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 It's to love your wife. And to have affection for brotherlies and family and other people. Ahab, ahab. Simple understanding in Hebrew. Even in the Greek, the specific words to aim the target right to the meaning of what they're saying, of what they love. But to use the pagan deities Charities and pancake it on 1 Corinthians or any other scriptures, and they think it's giving. Charity, they think it is giving. Because the goddess of Charities in the Greek Olympics, they would go pay at the temple entry. They go to the agora, A-G-O-R-A, where all the pagan deity temples are, the principalities and powers and rulers of darkness of that time and age. When you enter a city, there's a sign, welcome to, and you got Pomona, which is a pagan deity, female deity as well, and then you see all the pagan things, the secret societies, the masons, the symbols of the principalities of that region you enter into. Okay? You go to Garden Grove. I'm just mentioning a few here. Grove is Astera. It's a pagan goddess. Anytime you see the word grove, it's related to Astera. Astorai. The pagan goddess found throughout the scriptures. And this is the same relation to grove. Grove and garden are two different things. A grove looks like a garden, but it's specifically made for religious purposes. Look it up in Webster Dictionary and see it for yourself. So there's names and places that are giving to with the secret societies doing their rituals or dedication of the city to those deities. We're not to say their names, live in those places, or say those words, or give homage or respect, or even fear, have phobia towards those evil things. When we say the right words and say it in its purity, I will never call my Elohim of Israel another pagan word or a false deity and say, well, you know everything, you'll figure it out. It's like calling your friend Frank John, and you know his name, he knows you know your name, and you keep calling him, he's going to get mad at you. Or you keep calling your friend name. Hey, Shem, a name. Dude, my name is. Call me. Stop using that word name. It's nice. That has characteristic values. But my name of my character is. And it gets annoying. A baby, you can put up with it. A child. We spoke as a child. We thought as a child. We spoke as a talk. But now we're adults. We speak and think as adults. In the same like manner, we're going to put off childish things of pagan rituals. And even if you use the Greek word agape or love in the scriptures of the New Covenant, it's okay. Or you use some of the other Greek words that point to the right direction, it's okay. But you say, I read English. No, but charity is not English. It's ish. It's an add-on word plastered on top of another Greek word. So it's time to repent for calling on pagan deities Father, we just ask you to forgive us of our sins for repeating words that we learned from the lives of our forefathers, religious forefathers. We question that information now since travel and education has vastly increased. And we put the tools to work and we find out the true meanings. And we speak it to you in love and purity. We say, Yahuwah, Yahuwah, Rakam, to you that I have in all its purity, in all its compassion and respect, to my Yahuwah, Elohim of my forefathers, Abraham, Ishak, and Jacob. The Father is calling us to speak a pure tongue and a pure language in this last hour, to prepare us to go to the Bema. They call it the judgment seat of the Mashiach, the Messiah. One whole sentence, it means Bema. They didn't have, you can look it up in the Strong's, or you can look it up in Esor. There's no Greek word for every one of them. It's one straight word, Bema. It's His judgment to enter into the house, or to enter in New Jerusalem. Jerusalem. Prepare yourself as a bride, not a foolish one that run out of oil, but prepare one with plenty of oil and midnight candle burning of study. And know your amonah. You study to show yourself approved, workman rightly dividing the word of truth. Not the pagan goddess Faith, a spirit that seduces you, and you have a spell and you just believe anything that's said behind a pulpit. Search the Scriptures. Search the Scriptures. And prepare yourself for what's coming on the earth. It says not to mix those pagan words with the knowledge of Elohim. Deuteronomy chapter 12 verse 3 through 5, as well as verse 28 and 32 and chapter 13 1 through 7. Many people walk in the name of their own God. Micah 4 chapter 4 verse 5. But we walk in the name of our Elohim, Yahuwah, the creator of Shamanin and this earth. And we serve our Hebrew Messiah, Yeshua HaMashiach. I love you and I thank you for tuning in. This is the quick message on this, exposing the pagan principalities and powers in the words of the language of today. We thank you for tuning in. For further information, go to the archives or look on the different I recommend you, if you haven't seen the Exposing Principalities Part 1 and Part 2, and then go into the other video archives in the playlist of Eliyahu's teaching on the part of rooted and grafted into the house of Israel. Love you. Thank you for tuning in. And I just pray that the barakah and the baruch of Yahuwah will be upon you, and you will come to the understanding and the revelation of who He is, and through the Hebrew Messiah, Yeshua. Thank you for tuning in to Eagles Haven and also Eliyahu Channel. Thank you.